So am I audible? Hello?
Yes,
Am I
sir.
audible? Okay. So you have to reply, otherwise we cannot understand. It will take much time. Screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let us start with the first case of today's discussion. Can you see the screen properly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Dr. Satarupa will tell you the brief history about this patient.
This is a picture of the hand of a 9-year-old girl. He presented to our facility with complaint of itching in the different parts of the body, which is exacerbated during the night time, and different skin lesions, the different parts of the body, including the genitalia. And further inquiry, our parents gave the history of the similar complaints in the family also.
So
The
to
history.
summarize the history, the patient had a history of itching, which is usually exacerbated at night, and there is a positive family history. That means that similar illness is present in the family members also.
And it is short history for last 10 to 14 days.
And this is the picture of the hand. It may be given in your examination. It is very common as a spot case. So it may be given in your examination. So look at the lesion. So anybody can describe the lesion? Please describe.
You can see the hand. There is some very small size papules. What is the size of the papule? That is less than 1 centimeter solid elevated lesion. So there are multiple papules. Some multiple papules which are excoriated, particularly present over the web spaces of the fingers of the hand, which are visible in this picture.
Can you appreciate the papule? Some excoriated papule in the web spaces. Can you appreciate?
Yes, sir.
So anybody? What is the provisional diagnosis? Proceed.
So on further examination, we have to examine the other body parts. Then we found that there is a similar type of lesions involving the wrist, the palmar surface of the wrist, the antecubital fossa, axilla, then over the nipple areola, and over the umbilicus and the genitalia. So from the history, that there is a short history of itching over the body which is exacerbated during the night time, and similar history in the family, and the typical lesions which are multiple excoriated papules involving the web spaces, the wrist surface, the antecubital fossa, and the nipple areolar region, and the then also over the around the umbilicus and the genitalia. So from that we can come to the provisional diagnosis that it is a case of scabies.
Proceed.
Uh, so what are the points in favor of your diagnosis? You can repeat what I have told.
Anybody can summarize? What is the typical clinical feature of a patient with scabies? Please try to interact, otherwise the purpose of clinical class will not be served. Anybody?
So the points in favor are the same thing that from the history, that is the family history and the history of itching, intense pruritus, which is particularly exacerbated during the night time and also after hot shower. And there is the typical lesions involving the typical distribution, what I have told, that full forms the imaginary line, that is the circle of Hebra. And also the involvement of genitalia is very important. Because in some cases you cannot get the typical features, but you will get the clue, clinical clue in the genitalia. So these are the points in favor of your diagnosis.
And another important thing is that there may be some curvilinear lesion. There may be some curvilinear lesion in the waist spaces or other areas of the bodies. These are known as burrow. So these are a tunnel-like lesion within the stratum corneum caused by the progression of the female mite. Scabies is produced by the female mite, so this is known as burrow. And when these lesions are present, they are pathognomonic of scabies. But usually these are not found because of intense itching. Patient usually unroofed these burrows, so the tunnel cannot be visible. You can instead of that you can find some excoriated lesion. So to summarize, history of itching with nocturnal exacerbation or exacerbation after taking a hot shower. Number 2, family history of contact with similar patient. And on examination, multiple papules and excoriated papules or vesicles in the waist spaces particularly and in other suggestive areas usually points towards the diagnosis of scabies, clinical diagnosis of scabies. Okay, next.
Then how will you confirm the diagnosis? So for confirmation of the diagnosis, you will have to search for the female mite or the eggs or the skybella, that is the fecal matter of the mites. So you will have to search for the burrow first. If you cannot see through the naked eye, you have to examine through hand lens, and then some procedure can be done. Simple bedside procedures like ink, Indian ink can be given whenever you are suspecting a burrow. Then it will go through the burrow and you can easily find the burrow, and scraping to be done from that burrow. And on scraping, after scraping it, then you have to examine under the microscope, and high power field you can get the mite, also the skybella or the egg or fecal matters. Then you can confirmly say that it is a case of scabies.
So for confirmation, you have to take scraping either from the burrow, preferably from a burrow or other areas of scabies, scabitic lesion. Then what you find under microscope, you can find either the mite or its fecal pellet or the egg of mite. So that will confirm your diagnosis of scabies. So, any other question? Complications?
Then you have to look for what can be the complication of the scabies.
Proceed.
The complications can be due to the scabies itself, or can be due to iatrogenic, due to treatment. Iatrogenic means when due to treatment or any procedure, that is iatrogenic from doctor side for due to the treatment. And regarding the complications of due to the disease itself, it can be localized or can be systemic. The localized complication, it can be secondary infection, that is secondary pyoderma. So what is pyoderma? Pyoderma is the
Pyoderma pore.
okay.
Let us complete the complications.
So complication can be secondary pyoderma or impetization, or can be eczematization, that is eczema, or can be scebatic nodules, and the infection, the bacterial infection can lead to sometimes post-streptococcal glomerulonephritis, and then arthrogenic complication. Then arthrogenic complication can
রিফ্লেকশন খুব আছে এইখানে
কেন বন্ধ
arthrogenic complication can be due to the improper application of the or ointment, and particularly is common due with gamma benzene hexachloride. Due to its systemic absorption, neurological complications can occur, and secondary eczematization can also occur.
So look at this picture properly. And compare with the previous one. Is there any difference? Is there any difference? Anybody?
So what we are getting here in this picture, we are getting some
Louder.
some excoriated papules along with some pustules and crust formation. The pustules and crust were not so prominent in the previous picture, was absent in the previous picture. So you can appreciate the multiple
Crusted
crusted
lesion.
lesions with multiple pustules with focal purulence.
So what does it signify? It signifies secondary bacterial infection. The distribution is more or less same. The waste spaces are affected. So what is it? This is scabies with secondary pyogenic infection or secondary pyoderma. What do you mean by primary pyoderma? When pyoderma occurs over the normal skin, that is known as primary pyoderma, and when there is some underlying skin disease, it is known as secondary pyoderma. So this is a case of scabies with secondary pyoderma. So to summarize, what are the complications of scabies? Complications of scabies may be either due to scabies itself or due to arthrogenic complication, as Dr. Sadrupa has already mentioned. So regarding the scabies itself, there may be secondary pyoderma, that is the commonest complication of scabies, and which may lead to sometimes post-streptococcal glomerulonephritis. Otherwise, there may be eczematization, there may be persistent itchy nodule of scabies on different parts of the body, particularly over the male genitalia. And regarding the arthrogenic complications arises out of faulty and repeated application of scabicidal preparation on different parts of our body. This is usually due to faulty and repeated application of scabicidal preparation, and that may lead to contact dermatitis. That may, in some cases, where there is increased absorption of gamma benzene hexachloride in particular, there may be precipitation of convulsion sometimes. So these are the important complications of scabies. And there is a term known as Norwegian scabies or crusted scabies. What do you mean by Norwegian scabies or crusted scabies? Dr. Sadrupa, please.
So crusted scabies, from the name you can imagine that it will be more crusted. So what is crusted scabies? Actually, it is a hyper infestation of thousands or millions of scabies mites, which ultimately leads to hyperkeratotic and crusted skin lesions of scabies. So crusted scabies is also known as Norwegian scabies, and it is Generally, it not occur in the general population without any underlying disease, but it is common when there is some neurological problems, some mental retardation like in Down syndrome. In cases of Parkinson disease, it's very common. In these cases, you can, or in immunocompromised states in old age patients with different neurological problems, you can the mites when affected, the patient is unaware of the itching sometimes, and that leads to the spreading of the lesions, and hyperkeratotic crusted scabies occurs.
So
And-
crusted scabies usually implies there is hyperinfestation. Normally 10 to up to 8 to 10 mites are there in a scabies patient. But in case of crusted scabies, there is thousands or millions of mites may be there within the body of the patient, and it is highly infectious. That is the most important implication of crusted scabies. It is highly infectious, and there is widespread crusting throughout the body. What do you mean by crust? Crust is the dried up exudate often admixed with cellular debris. So that is known as crust. So there is widespread crusting and scaling. There may be nail dystrophy of the patient, deformity of the nail, and the lesions may be either minimally itching, or there may be severe itching, or itching may be totally absent in crusted scabies. And it is highly infectious. And it commonly occurs in the setting of neurological debilities like CVA, like Parkinsonism, or there may be some genetic disorder, chromosomal disorder like Down syndrome. HIV is a very important background of crusted scabies. There may be other causes of either iatrogenic immune suppression or systemic immune suppression due to some disease process. So you have to know about crusted scabies.
And in crusted scabies, you can also get the palmoplantar keratodermatitis, hyperkeratosis, thickening of the palm with crust, and other things you can also get along with the other features of the scabies.
So as in case of normal scabies, here also you have to take scraping from the scaly areas, and you have to see under microscope, and you can find out either the female mite or its egg or its fecal pellet, that is also known as skybella. Okay, let us proceed to the treatment.
And now coming to the treatment.
So can you enumerate what are the treatment options? What are the scabicidal preparations that are available in the market for the treatment of scabies?
Topical permethrin.
Yes, very good. Anything else? So in your examination, suppose this is the case, an examiner may ask you, how will you treat this patient? So anybody can tell? How will you treat this particular patient?
Sir, the cream needs to be applied over the entire body and kept for a duration of 8 to 10 hours, and
Very good.
then it's washed off.
Yes.
And the cream can be of permethrin or gamma benzene hexachloride.
Okay. But do you want to
use antihistaminic?
Yes, antihistamine, addition of antihistamine is there. Anything else?
And calamine lotion to
So there is
control the
no
itching.
role of calamine in the treatment of scabies. There is no role of calamine. Anything else? Do you want to repeat the course of permethrin?
Yes, sir, after 7
After
days.
1 week,
Yes. Yes, very good. So you have to repeat the course after 7 days. Anything else? Do you want to treat the family members? Is it necessary?
yes,
It is highly infectious disease. So suppose you are treating one member of the family and others are infected. So what will happen? The patient may acquire disease from the other infected members. So treatment of the family members are very important part. How you treat the clothing and linens of the patient. That is another important issue. You should ask the patient to clip his or her nails. That is also important. Otherwise patient may scratch and that may lead to secondary pyogenic infection like this. Anything else? So Is there any oral medication for scabies? That is very much
Ivermectin, sir.
ivermectin. You
Ivermectin.
have to know that. Very good. So can you tell me the dose of ivermectin?
200 milligram per kg body weight.
No.
Microgram.
Okay, Dr. Sadrupa will summarize the treatment of scabies. For any case in your exam, may it be in medicine, may it be in surgery, may it be in dermatology or in pediatrics, always you have to remember that the treatment will start with general treatment or supportive treatment of the patient, then comes specific treatment. Specific treatment may be medical, it may be surgical, or it may be something else. So you have to categorize the treatment options according to that way. Okay, Dr. Sadrupa will summarize the treatment of scabies.
So in the treatment, first you have to tell the general measures, then you have to tell the specific treatment. In the general treatment, you have to educate the patient regarding the nature of the disease. In all cases, whenever you are asked for general measure, just remember that first you have to tell the patient education regarding the disease, regarding the infective nature of the disease, and whether it is curable or not, and what is the importance of taking the proper treatment, and also the regarding the prognosis of the disease, and also the complication what may occur and why can occur, and all that thing you have to tell. So in this particular case, regarding in the general measure, also you have to tell the non-specific treatment, that is due to the itching, you can give the antihistaminics like levocetirizine, levocetirizine 5 milligram at the night time. Have to
Depending on the age of
depending
the
on the age
patient.
of the
that will
patient.
depend
In
on
an
the-
adult patient, you can give, or more than 8-year-old patient, you can give levocetirizine 5 milligram at night time for 10 to 2 weeks, and then for the immunization, that is secondary pyoderma, you can give some topical antibiotic creams like mupirocin ointment or fusidic acid cream for twice daily for 7 days, and if required, then systemic antibiotics can be necessary. Then you can give azithromycin, that is macrolides, or amoxiclav in the proper dose, and you have to treat all the family members, and also have to educate regarding the handling of the clothings and linens, that after application. Then I'm coming to the specific treatment. The specific treatment is that you have to apply permethrin cream, 5% permethrin cream. The advice to be that it to be applied from neck to toe for patients of more than 1 year of age. They will apply at the night time from neck to toe. Properly they will apply. The amount is also very important. 30 to 40 gram for adult patients. They will require the tube. Sometimes they only use 5 gram. Then it will not work properly for as a scabicidal. So have to apply and to be kept, as you have already mentioned, that for 8 to 10 hours, that is overnight to apply, and all the family members to be applied simultaneously, and have to wash in the morning, that is they have to take bath, and along with that the clothing and the bed sheets all to be washed in with detergent in a hot water, and have to also repeat the treatment after 1 week the same way. And for hyperkeratotic, that is for Norwegian scabies, along with this, they will require some keratolytic agents, because there is crusting and hyperkeratosis. So some keratolytic agents, and if necessary some for the eczema part have to treat. And also, if particularly in Norwegian scabies, we can give the oral scabicidal agents for scabies, that is ivermectin, and the dose of the ivermectin for weight specific, that is 200 microgram per kg, and for adult it is 12 milligram, that is one tablet to be given, and it to be repeated after 10 to 14 days. So 2 doses of ivermectin will suffice.
So treatment, general treatment and specific treatment. In general treatment, to summarize, number 1, treatment of the family members, treatment of the clothing and linens, clipping of the nails, and you have to alleviate the itching of the patient. And on specific treatment, permethrin 5% cream is the drug of choice. In systemic drug, you can use ivermectin.
The other options are also there, like protamidone lotion, gamma-benzyl hexachloride or linden, and then malathion,
Benzyl benzoate.
benzyl benzoate. That are the options. But nowadays we use permethrin, and also in pregnant patients, permethrin can be used safely. So in case of pregnant patient, also you have to treat the similar way. But regarding the antibiotics and antihistamines, you have to take care of them.
Okay, is there any question for scabies? Any question? So clinical
And
feature.
one thing is that for patients of less than 1 year of age, you have to apply. You have to tell the patient to apply it from head to toe, not not from the neck to toe. Apply on the full body part. And regarding the scabitic nodule, the scabitic nodules are more chronic in nature. So when all the scabies mite has been removed from the body, after that it can also persist for several weeks. So you have to tell the patient that not to worry. If you apply properly, then it will go. The scabies mites will go, but the nodules will remain for few weeks. And for the scabitic nodule, you can have to give some topical steroids like mometasone for 2 to 3 weeks. Even more can be required regarding individualization of the patient.
Any question regarding scabies?
Sir, can you repeat the circle of Hebra portion?
Yes. So it depends on the distribution of the scabitic lesion. Suppose there is a lesion over the hand, then near elbow, volar aspect of the wrist, near elbow, around nipple. And if you stand in that way, so it will form a circle, the distribution of scabies. So starting from the waist space, volar aspect of the wrist, around elbow, over the nipple, axilla, around genitalia and umbilicus. So that will form a circle. This circle is known as circle of Hebra. That is the typical distribution of scabies. It may come as a MCQ as well in your MD entrance examination. Do you understand? Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
So any other question regarding scabies? So you have to know the clinical feature of scabies, the confirmation part, that is by scraping and demonstration of the either mite or its fecal pellet or its egg, and the treatment part. 5% permethrin is the drug of choice, and oral medication, another alternative is ivermectin, that is particularly used for crusted scabies, a patient aged more than 6 years of age. So let us proceed to the second case. So this is a scabies with secondary pyoderma. So you have to treat the secondary pyoderma part as well. And look at the lesion carefully. Can you describe, anybody? Can you describe the lesion?
Sir, it's a nodular lesion
Yes, very good.
discharging pus with
Yes.
involvement of multiple hair follicles.
Very good. Excellent. So what do you expect? Any other symptom?
So fever might be there.
Fever might be there. Anything else? Very good. Anything else? Do you think the lesion will be painful or painless?
Sir, painful.
Painful. So pain may be there, fever may be there, and there is a nodular lesion which is indurated, and perilesional skin is also erythematous, and there are multiple orifices discharging pus, and there is a central necrotic area. So can you tell me what is your provisional diagnosis?
So carbuncle.
Very good, excellent. So this is a case of carbuncle. So what are the points in favor of your diagnosis? Can you repeat?
So nodular lesion discharging pus through multiple sinuses with involvement of
Okay, better not to call it sinus, better to call it multiple orifices. Because sinus is a separate thing. Anything
through
else?
multiple orifices with the involvement of surrounding hair follicles.
And associated with intense pain, and the lesion is much more tender. In comparison
Yes,
to
sir.
other pyogenic lesion, it is much more tender. So if you are allowed to take history, which history of systemic illness do you take first? Rather, what are the systemic association of carbuncle? Whenever you come across a patient with carbuncle, you have to take a particular history of a particular systemic illness. Very common disease. So you have to always take the history of diabetes mellitus, because carbuncle is very common in the setting of diabetes. Okay, Shadrupa, next. Confirmation and other.
So in this picture you can see the multiple adjacent follicles, hair follicles with which are discharging pus, and also there is some perilesional erythema. So it is a diagnosis of carbuncle. So now how will confirm that it is a case of carbuncle?
How do you know this is a pyogenic lesion?
So there is discharging. So there is a discharging orifice with pus, and along with that there is pain and fever.
Yeah, so it is
So-
clinically you are seeing that it is carbuncle. So now you have to confirm.
How do you know this is of bacterial origin or pyogenic origin?
So if we do culture sensitivity and antibiotic sensitivity testing.
So it is very cumbersome process. Definitely we will go for that. But previously, before that, what we can do very simply.
The culture report will come after 48 hours. So is there any other?
Gram stain.
Yes?
Yes.
Gram stain.
Very good.
Gram stain.
Gram stain is very important part.
From the past material, we can do gram stain.
So what is the expected result in gram staining here? In this patient, what do you expect?
Gram positive cocci. Gram positive cocci. Gram positive cocci.
In chain or cluster?
In clusters.
In cluster.
It's Staph
What
aureus.
is the probable organism here? Carbuncle is
Staph aureus.
right?
Staph aureus.
Yes, very good. Staph aureus. So at the same time, you will send it for culture and drug sensitivity test, antibiotic sensitivity test. Okay. So it will come after near about 48 hours. So empirically, what will be your treatment of choice in this particular case? How will you start treatment regarding the specific antibiotic therapy? Which antibiotic do you prefer in this case? Anybody?
Vancomycin.
Yes?
Vancomycin.
No, not vancomycin for the treatment of carbuncle.
Vancomycin is
This is a
IV
reservoir.
drug. IV drug. So
This is
in
IV
this patient,
drug.
you will not admit all the patients. Oral drug.
So amoxiclav, amoxicillin, and
Amoxiclav is the important choice. Any antibiotic? What are the other options?
Clindamycin.
So something common. So Sadharva, please summarize the systemic treatment option.
So first regarding the when confirmation, then have to do some laboratory investigation here also, because you are confirming that it is a bacterial infection, that is most probably Staph aureus, but we are telling that it is some immunocompromised state can be there, that is most commonly there is diabetes, so you will have to go for fasting blood sugar and also postprandial blood sugar to rule out diabetes, and because if you don't treat the underlying diabetes, then it will recur and the treatment will be very prolonged and it will not resolve. So, and also you can do some complete hemogram in these patients with EHR and CRP. So in the complete hemogram, you, because of the infection, and there will be increase in the total count, and also there can be increased neutrophils, and because there can be chance of some systematization of the infection, that is can be bacteremia or sepsis can occur from that. So you have to be very cautious about that and also treat the diabetic part. And regarding the antibiotic treatment, you can give the amoxicillin penicillin group of drugs like amoxicillin. You can give some cephalosporin group of drugs like cefadroxil. You can give, and regarding the also you can give macrolides like azithromycin, and also clindamycin you can also give. And for some methicillin resistant staph aureus, when you are doing that culture and culture sensitivity, for the oral drugs you can give linezolid. And vancomycin can also be given in MRSA, but here it is not applicable because when there is more spreading lesions like cellulitis and all that things, and you cannot treat in the outdoor basis, you have to admit. In that case, you can also give vancomycin.
And newer generation quinolones is another
Neonatal
option.
can also be given.
So can anybody describe the lesion?
So what is the primary morphology here?
Elevated macular lesion.
What is the primary morphology? Please. When there is elevated macular lesions, what we call in the primary morphology? Macula is a flat lesion, it is not elevated from the surface.
Ma'am, nodulopustular lesion with multiple orifices with central necrosis around the hair follicle.
Hair follicle.
Usually
No,
involving the hair follicle.
no, fingers are not the common site for the hair follicle, but
So you can appreciate there are multiple lesions. They are elevated from the surface and they are solid. The size is
Yes, sir.
less than 1 centimeter somewhere, more than 1 centimeter somewhere. So solid elevated lesion, less than 1 centimeter in size. How do you describe that? These are
Papules.
papule. And solid elevated lesion, more than 1 centimeter with substantial depth. What is that known as?
Nodule.
Nodule. So there are multiple papules and nodules. Some are discrete, some are coalescing, and here it is linear. You can appreciate the lesion is linear here, distribution is linear. And if you closely look on the surface of the lesion, it is rough surface. If you closely examine it with the help of a hand lens. And presence of dermatoglyphics, the normal dermatoglyphics are absent over the lesion. And on close examination, you can appreciate multiple finger-like projections. If you look at the surface, it will look like that. Some papillary projections are there. It is verrucous in surface is verrucous, and there are multiple finger-like projections are there with absence of normal dermatoglyphics. And there are some linear lesion. What does it signify? It is a phenomenon. Appearance of new lesion at the site of trauma. So if you scratch the lesion, it will extend along the scratch line. So appearance of new lesion at the site of trauma is known as Koebner's phenomenon. Koebner's phenomenon, you have to know it. And in MCQ, there will be some question. Koebner's phenomenon is seen in such and such condition except. So, this is what is your provisional diagnosis? Can anybody tell what is the provisional diagnosis?
So carbuncle.
No, this is not carbuncle.
Carbuncle is previously told.
You have seen this one. This is carbuncle. So, is there any similarity?
So,
Yes.
so the slide is not changed.
Huh? Yes?
So there are multiple hyperpigmented papules and nodules with verrucous surface, rough verrucous surface, and there is absence of dermatoglyphics. What is dermatoglyphics? That is the normal skin creases will be absent over the lesion. And there is presence of linear lesions suggesting the Koebner's phenomenon.
So proceed.
So it is a case of wart or verruca vulgaris.
Viral word.
Viral wart or verruca vulgaris.
What do you mean by verruca? Vulgaris? What do you mean by the term vulgaris?
In other cases, you will also get vitiligo vulgaris or psoriasis vulgaris.
Most common.
Yes,
Common
very
type.
good.
Common type. Yes, very good. So vulgaris means common type. So this is verruca vulgaris or common wart or viral wart.
So this is a case of viral wart. What is the positive agent? The positive agent is human papilloma virus. There are different strains of human papilloma virus causing different types of lesions. And one thing is that here coebnerization occurs, that is, it is pseudo coebnerization. It occurs due to scratching when due to auto inoculation. That is, whenever you are scratching the lesion, you are getting some viral particles and it will deposit or implant in the another site and along the line of scratching. So there will be appearance of the new lesion. So it is pseudo coebnerization. In the infective conditions, when these linear lesions are seen, these are pseudo coebnerization.
So in your exam, if it is given, examiner may ask you what is your provisional diagnosis. The provisional diagnosis is this is a case of viral wart or verruca vulgaris. Why do you think so? Because there are some nodular lesion or papular lesion with rough verrucous surface with filiform projections over the surface. Dermatoglyphics are absent over the surface and there is presence of pseudocoebnerization. Next question will come, how to confirm your diagnosis. Proceed.
So it is a clinically diagnosis is that it is a viral wart, and for confirmation you can do some histopathological examination, and that is have to take the skin biopsy. From the lesion you can do punch biopsy taking, and then it will be removed also when there is single lesion. And I will not go into the further details of the histopathology where
Just
you
mention
will get the
about
coilocytes. You can get some coilocytes, that is large squamous cells with a perinuclear halo will be seen. Some resin-like configuration, that is irregular margin of the cells, and it will be of different shape. Can be some double nuclei can be seen, and for your remembrance, there will be perinuclear halo. And coilocytes can be seen in any cases of viral wart. That is, any cases of human papilloma virus, whenever infecting, there will be presence of coilocytes.
So you have probably read it in your cervical intraepithelial neoplasia classes in pathology, where human papilloma virus induced lesion usually histologically produced coilocytes.
Some HCl, that is high squamous intraepithelial lesions or low squamous intraepithelial lesions. There can be cervical carcinoma.
So for confirmation, in our setting, biopsy is sufficient. You can demonstrate pilocyte here. With this clinical background, the diagnosis is more or less confirmed. about
You
the
can do
vital.
other things like nucleic acid amplification test or PCR test and other things, or in situ hybridization method. Like
They can further confirm your diagnosis.
but in practically we don't do all these things. It is a clinical diagnosis. Whenever we exclude the other causes, whenever there is any confusion due to the presence of the lesion in the atypical locations in that case. So now, how will you treat the patient? So, can anyone tell anything?
by surgical excision.
If you go through your Bailey Lab textbook of surgery, there is a specific contraindication for surgery of what? Why? Because any sort of trauma can further progress the lesion, that is due to the Koebner's phenomenon. So surgical excision is usually not done. Sometimes you can do surgical excision for debulking of a large lesion. That is actually not a treatment modality, because any sort of trauma can further induce new lesions of your verruca vulgaris due to Koebner's phenomenon. So surgery is usually not done. Apart from in a very large lesion, for the purpose of debulking, you can do surgery, otherwise not. So you have to start your treatment from the general treatment, then specific treatment. Among specific treatment, always remember there are some medical treatment. Medical treatment may be some topical treatment. There may be some systemic treatment. Otherwise, you have to do for surgical, go for surgical treatment or other modalities of treatment. So in that way, you have to classify your treatment portion. So Sadharpa, please summarize.
So, regarding the medical treatment, you can give some keratolytic agents like salicylic acid or lactic acid. These things you can give in combination also. And
So number one, keratolytic agent.
And some immunomodulator agents can be given like imiquimod.
So imiquimod is an antiviral drug which is actually immune enhancer. They are known as immune enhancer. So imiquimod is another drug that is particularly available for the treatment of human papillomavirus infection, particularly the genital ward. That is particularly used for the treatment of genital ward. Yes. Then
Also sometimes 5-fluorouracil, and then regarding systemic treatment, anti-systemic antiviral generally doesn't work here, but there is some research of using some immunomodulators, but all have not been proved properly. And regarding the surgical therapy, like electrosurgery, like electrocautery, cauterization can be done of the lesion, and you can do cryotherapy, that is with liquid nitrogen therapy.
so you have to mention about electrosurgery, you have to mention about liquid nitrogen cryo. They are very commonly done for the treatment of your this such sort of lesion. And apart from that, there are some topical modes of cauterization of the lesion. Topical cautery.
Chemical cauterization.
Chemical cauterization with the help of trichloroacidic acid. We usually do chemical cauterization with trichloroacidic acid. That is another modalities of treatment. And among surgical treatment, it may be some electrocautery or cryotherapy or sometimes laser therapy, ablative laser therapy that can be done for the treatment of your verruca.
Other modalities are there like auto implantation, but we will not go into the details of it.
So to summarize today's lesson, now you have to answer. So please proceed.
So what is your provisional diagnosis? Simple question.
Just answer now. Yes?
Scabies.
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 So what are the points in favor of your diagnosis? Anybody? Points in favor of your diagnosis?
So, patient presented with intense itching and pruritus and also nocturnal exuberations. So, on examination, we could find multiple papules which were exfoliated, and it was present all along the rib spaces of the fingers. It was also present in the wrist, antecubital fossa, and even in the history, we found that the patient has a family history of this case. So we come to a provisional diagnosis of scabies.
How will you confirm your diagnosis?
So by scrapings, by taking the scrapings of the lesion.
What will you found? Under microscope, what will you see? Anybody?
The mite will be
Or either mite
So-
or its fecal pellet
So
or
fecal
egg.
pellets and
Egg. Okay. How-
What is the pathognomonic sign of scabies?
Burrow.
Var.
Var.
Yes, very good. What is
And there
Varro?
can be some curvilinear lesions. Some curvilinear lesions.
Curvilinear?
It is a
Lesion.
curvilinear tunnel-like lesion within stratum corneum. So it is a curvilinear tunnel-like lesion within stratum corneum due to progression of the female mite. That is known as Varro's.
So most superficial layer of epidermis? What is the most superficial layer of epidermis?
Stratum corneum.
Yes. Very good. Then how will you treat this patient?
Anybody? How will you treat?
So we'll classify the treatment under general management and symptomatic treatment. In general management, we'll isolate the patient and
No, you need not isolate the patient, but you have to treat all the family members simultaneously. Yes, proceed.
Itching will apply antihistaminics. We'll give antihistaminics, and for secondary bacterial infection, we can use antibiotics. And for the specific treatment of scabies, we can use topical permethrin 5% cream, or for oral drugs, we can use ivermectin, which is 200 milligram, 200 microgram per kg body weight, or 12 milligram as adult dose.
Yes, very good.
We can use other agents like benzyl benzoate or malathion.
Or gamma-benzene hexachloride that are usually not used nowadays. So permethrin is much more safer option. So you have to treat the patient with permethrin only.
And protamidon lotion also sometimes.
What is Norwegian scabies?
Norwegian scabies is widespread hyperkeratotic and crusted lesions due to hyperinfestation of thousands or millions of mites.
Very good, very good.
Very good.
Okay. And
How
what are
will
the
present? How will present in a case of Norwegian scabies? What will be the clinical feature of the patient?
When the patient will be mentally retarded, like in case of Down syndrome, or debilitated, like in Parkinson's disease, or very old patients.
Okay, then.
Immunocompromised.
Okay. What will be the clinical feature? You are going very correctly then. Clinical feature. This is the background of the patient. Then what will be the complaint of the
these are
patient?
the associated condition. So what are the clinical features? How does it differ from normal scabies? So what is
Sir,
the most
actually,
characteristic
in the-
lesion? It is the crusting and scaling involving entire body. And there may be palmoplantar keratoderma and there may be nail dystrophy as well. And I have already mentioned that the itching may be either very severe or it may be minimal, or even it may be absent in some cases of Norwegian scabies. So what are the complications? Complications of scabies, please summarize. Because scabies is very important from your examination point of view. It is the most important skin disease that may be asked in your final MBBS examination, either in the theory or in practical.
The complications may be due to either scabies, the disease itself, or it can be due to the drugs, which is iatrogenic. And due to the disease, it can be also divided into localized and systemic. In localized, the complications are secondary pyoderma, which is the commonest complication, which can lead to a systemic streptococcal glomerulonephritis. The other localized complications may be eczematization and itchy scabetic nodule, which can be particularly seen over the male genitalia.
Very good.
And, iatrogenic complications are due to improper application or over application of the ointment. It is common with gamma benzene hexachloride, which can precipitate convulsions, and the other iatrogenic complication is contact dermatitis.
Very good. Excellent.
So iatrogenic complications are due to faulty and repeated application. Suppose you are prescribing the patient apply gamma benzene hexachloride once at night and repeat it after 15 days. And patient is applying daily, on daily basis for 2 eyes or 3 eyes. So that patient may land up with commonly with contact dermatitis. And in some particular setting, if there is increased absorption, there may be precipitation of convulsion. And mind it that there is no scope for scrubbing bath with hot water before application of scabicidal preparation. That may actually increase your systemic absorption, and there may be much more toxicity of the drug. Is that clear?
Is the scabitic nodules infective?
Yes, ma'am.
Always.
Scabies itself is infective, but even after successful treatment of scabies with scabicidal preparation, you may get some residual scabitic nodule that are not infectious. But at the setting of active scabies, it may be infectious. Summarize this lesson very quickly.
And what is the provisional diagnosis here?
So this is scabies with secondary pyoderma. We have already described what is primary pyoderma and what is secondary pyoderma.
What is pyoderma? Please, anyone tell?
Summarize.
So this is a case of scabies with secondary pyoderma, and pyoderma is a bacterial infection of the skin by pus forming organisms. So you are getting here some, along with the scabitic lesions, that is excreted papules, you are getting some focal purulence, that is pus, some crusted lesions, and that's giving you the clue that there is formation of secondary pyoderma. So here in the same way, everything will be same, but one thing is that there is dual pathology, that is bacteria and scabies. So first, better to treat the bacterial infection, and then you tell the patient the treatment of this both the scabies and bacterial infection. But first, oral antibiotics to be given for first 5 days. If there is severe infection, then only you treat the scabies. And confirmation of the diagnosis is the same, that is the identification of the mite or the eggs or the fecal matters, that is scivella of the scabies. And what is the positive organism of the scabies? Can anyone tell?
Sarcoptes scabiei.
Sarcoptes scabiei, var hominis.
It is human scabies, so we have to add the var hominis term. So it is a ectoparasite, right? So it is a ectoparasital disease caused by Sarcoptes scabiei var hominis. Then Everything is covered in the scabies. Can anyone please describe the lesion again?
Anybody else?
Anybody else, whoever told previous?
Proceed.
So, primary, if I have to look for the primary morphology, here you are looking for a nodule. Nodule is a solid elevated lesion of more than 1 centimeter size with substantial depth. And here you can see the multiple adjacent follicles, hair follicles discharging pulses with surrounding erythema, and this lesion is indurated. So it is a case of carbuncle. So whenever you are getting a carbuncle, in that case not only you treat the carbuncle, but you have to look for the underlying conditions. Like most commonly it is the diabetes. It is very common because whenever, until and unless you are treating the underlying pathology, that is the alteration in the sugar level in the blood, then it will recur and it will not cure, and there will be there will be a long-term disease process will go on. And the most common site is the nape of the neck for a diabetic patient, but it can also involve the other parts. And for the confirmation of the diagnosis, as already mentioned, that you will have to collect the pulse and have to do the gram staining, and the swab to be taken for pulse sensitivity. And then I have to treat the patient, the general treatment and the specific treatment. And what will be the general treatment? That is the personal hygiene to be maintained. And one thing is that there is some patient has sometimes staphylococcal carriers, and the staphylococcus present over the nasal areas or nasal orifice or some other orifices. So we have to remove the carriages. So whenever you are giving the topical antibiotic treatments like mupirocin ointment and fusidic acid cream, not only apply to the lesional site, but also have to mention that you have to apply over the nostrils and also over the surrounding the ear orifice, and also over the umbilicus, and also the perianal, anal region and genital ear, if possible. And hand hygiene is very important, because you already learned from the microbiology that hand is also a source of Staphylococcus aureus. Because before surgery also the hand hygiene is very important. So the treatment is that the antibiotics of different groups, like penicillin group of antibiotics like amoxicillin, you can give cephalosporin like cefadroxil, macrolides, azithromycin or quinones you can give. And for methicillin resistant Staph aureus, nowadays resistance is very much increasing. There can be hospital acquired methicillin resistant Staph aureus or community acquired. I think in microbiology you have learned all this, but it will not be asked in the dermatology spot cases, but you have to learn from your microbiology side that there are some community acquired and hospital acquired. So in the patient, if the patient is hospitalized, then there is chance of hospital acquired, and if the patient is not hospitalized, then it will be community acquired, and community acquired is most common. And you have to read some cascade of genes in the microbiology for that. I will not go into the details of it. So you have to complication. That complication can be, that is for carbuncle, the local complication can be spread of the infection, like it can give rise to infection of the subcutaneous tissue that can lead to cellulitis, or there may be necrotizing fasciitis involving of the fascia or muscle, and there can be further invasion. And if it is systemic involvement, that is the bacteria comes into the blood, there can be septicemia. Okay. So this can be the complication. So whenever you ask for complication, and it can also lead to post-streptococcal glomerulonephritis and nephritis rarely. And then arterogenic complication, though it is not common here. So what is the provisional diagnosis here? What is the provisional diagnosis?
Verruca vulgaris.
Yes, Verruca vulgaris. So what are the points in favor of your diagnosis here? clinically by looking at the lesion?
Nodular lesions on the dorsal surface of the hand.
Yes.
Without any
And-
involvement of hair follicles.
Hair follicle
So
involvement
hair
is not
follicle
an
is not
important
important
parameter.
parameter here.
So you have to concentrate on the surface of the lesion. That is important. The surface is rough, verrucous, having some filiform projections, and there is absence of dermatoglyphics. In addition, the patient may have pseudocoebnerization. So these are the important point in your clinical description in favor of your verrucovulvaris.
So coebnerization can you can get coebnerization in. Can you tell me where you can get coebnerization? Otherwise, I will tell you.
Tell me, please tell me.
So coebnerization,
Common condition.
common conditions where you can get coebnerizations like lichen planus, psoriasis, and also in cases of vitiligo. When there is active vitiligo cases, there will be presence of coebnerization. And how will identify coebnerization? That is some linear lesions along the sides, lines of scratching, along the lines of trauma. That may not only scratching but trauma, and after surgery also. What is sir also told that why the surgical removal of these cases is not done actually. That is due to the chance of coebnerization, and also the cumbersome lesion, because there is not a single lesion, there are multiple lesions. And for treatment, what will be the treatment? Treatment will be general treatment and specific treatment. And in the general treatment and specific treatment, in the specific treatment for the medical treatment, that is the keratolytic agents first, that is the salicylic acid or lactic acid or the combination of that, and then you can go for some antiviral agents, though it is actually the immunomodulators that enhance the immunity against the virus particle, that is imiquimod, and then also 5-fluorouracil. Particularly these are used for the genital warts. And then we will go for the electrocautery. And another thing is that easily you can do, that is the chemical cautery with trichloroacetic acid, generally 50% trichloroacetic acid, and have to apply over the lesion, spot application. And patient will not do that, the doctor itself will do that. Doctor, he or herself will do that.
You can increase the concentration of trichloroacetic acid up to 80%.
Up to 80% also you can
depending
use.
on the site of affection.
And I have to apply very meticulously only over the particular site after applying Vaseline over the surrounding area, because it can burn the surrounding area. It will do the chemically it will coagulate the proteins, so that viral particles will also coagulated, the viral proteins also. Then cryotherapy is another thing, that is liquid nitrogen, that can be used spot application, that is with stick or can be by spray techniques can be done. It causes the crystallization of the proteins due to the very lower temperature of the liquid nitrogen.
Can we imagine what is the temperature of liquid nitrogen? Anybody?
What is the boiling point of
boiling point of liquid nitrogen?
That is very much low, that is minus 195.6 degrees centigrade. So it will actually also do the burn will also occur, not only with the hot thing but also the cold.
So do you have any other question regarding all these cases? Any question?
So in what type of cells you will get in case of viral what?
In histology, what is the most important